Welcome to the Plato Paradigm, a paradigm shift in reading Plato's dialogues. Episode 190, IO 539d to 540b. IO has just agreed that the person most suited to examine and judge anything to do with prophecies or omens is the mantis. And according to the argument so far, that would mean that the rhapsode is not the most suited to examine and judge such things. Io has just said that Socrates is saying true things, and Socrates now reciprocates. Kai suge o ion alethe tauteleges. You too, Io, are saying these true things. Of course, they're not actually true, but the point is that they suit Socrates' current argument, which is to prove that the rhapsode has no techne, and Io seems not to understand that. By saying that Io is saying true things, by agreeing that the expert in any given techne is the most suited to deal with it and to judge it, he is admitting, so far as this argument is concerned, that the rhapsode has no techne at all, because he's accepted the notion of the exclusivity of subject matter to one techne or another. If prophecy and omens are the subject matter of the mantike techne, they are not the subject matter of the rhapsodic techne. Ithide kai su emoi hosper ego soi ex Alexa kai ex Odysseus kai ex Iliados. Hopoia tu manteos esti kai hopoia tu iatru kai hopoia tu halieos. Huto kai su emoi eklexon. Epede kai emperoteros emu ton Homeru. Hopoia tu rhapsodu est ino ion, kai tes technes tes rhapsodices. Hato rhapsodo proseke, kai scopestai kai diacrinen, paratus alus anthropus. Come now, you as well to me, just as I to you have quoted both from the Odyssey and from the Iliad, what things are of the mantis and what things are of the physician and what things are of the fisherman. So you too quote to me, since you are more experienced than I am on the things of Homer, what things are of the rhapsode Io and of the rhapsodic techne? What things are suitable for the rhapsode both to examine and to judge, as opposed to other men? This is apparently the reason why Socrates has been quoting from Homer, that he's been giving examples for Io to follow. He now wants Io to give him some places in Homer which are peculiarly for the rhapsode and the rhapsodic techne. We might now expect Io to quote some passages which pertain particularly to one or other rhapsode being asked to perform some piece of poetry for a given occasion. So let's hear Io's answer to Socrates' question, what sort of things are of the rhapsode and the rhapsodic techne? Egomen femio Socrates hapanta. I claim, Socrates, all things. I'm sure Io has a good reason for saying this, but Socrates asks another question first. U suge feso ion hapanta, ehutos epilesmone, kaitoi ukan prepoige epilesmona enai rhapsodonandra. You don't claim all things, Io, or are you so forgetful? And indeed, it wouldn't be fitting for someone forgetful to be a rhapsodic man. That last comment, of course, is partly a joke, because a rhapsode needs to be able to remember thousands of lines. But this particular case of forgetfulness is to do with the argument that they are having, and it is a principle of dialectic to remember everything said in a dialogue. And Io should have remembered everything they've been saying so far, against the notion that the rhapsode has anything to say in particular in a poem, because all of the subject matter belongs to other techne. Dide pilanthanomai. What am I forgetting? Memnesai hoti ephes rhapsodicen technen heteranenaites heniochikes? Memnemai. Don't you remember that you claimed that the rhapsodic techne is other than the charioteer techne? I remember. Ukun kai heteranusan heterognosistai homologes? Nay. Didn't you also agree that them being different, they would know different things? Yes. It's not untrue that different techne know different things, because obviously they are two different techne, but it does not mean that they are exclusive, that whatever one techne knows, the other has absolutely no knowledge of. They can both have the same subject matter and yet work on that subject matter in different ways for different ends. Uk ara pantage gnositai he rhapsodice kataton son logon, ude ho rhapsodos. Therefore, the rhapsodic techne won't know everything, according to your argument, nor will the rhapsode. We should first note that Socrates has turned this into Io's argument. In fact, Io has only been agreeing to questions fed to him by Socrates. He's been choosing the option that techne are exclusive, and he has always been choosing the professional techne of any particular subject matter rather than the rhapsodic techne. So according to Io's position, apparent position, according to what he's been choosing, Socrates should have said that therefore the rhapsodic techne knows nothing. Instead, he's gone for the softer conclusion that the rhapsodic techne doesn't know everything, which will allow Io to do some special pleading, which is in fact what Io now does. Plengisos tatoi auta, O Socrates. Except perhaps for such things, O Socrates. This is an elliptic answer. We are supposed to understand that he's saying that the rhapsodic techne and the rhapsode will know everything, indeed, everything, except perhaps such things. In other words, the things which are actually mentioned in the poems. The rhapsode will know everything in the Homeric poems apart from the subject matter. We should remember that this conclusion is valid only if we accept that the professional techne know completely the subject matter, and therefore by the rule of exclusivity the rhapsodic techne knows absolutely nothing about the subject matter. This is a logically bad argument, but it may be able to concentrate minds a little to consider what exactly the rhapsodic techne does know, given that it doesn't know the subject matter. Socrates first of all corrects Io's answer. Ta toialta deleges plentaton allon technon schedonti. You mean basically such things apart from the things of the other techne. Io had said that the rhapsode will know all things apart from such things which the other techne know. Socrates is saying the rhapsode will know such things apart from the things of the other techne, which is everything basically, so far as the subject matter is concerned. Socrates carries on. Allah poia de gnositai epide uchapanta. What sort of things will the rhapsode, understood, know? What sort of things will the rhapsode know, since he won't know all things? So let's find out what things the rhapsode will know, given that the subject matter itself is no longer an option. Haprepe oimai egoge, andri epen, kai hopoia gunaiki, kai hopoia doulo, kai hopoia eleuthero, kai hopoia archomeno, kai hopoia archonti. The things which are fitting, I think, for a man to say, and the sort of things for a woman, and the sort of things for a slave, and the sort of things for a free man, and the sort of things for someone ruled, and the sort of things for a ruler. Io uses the rhetorical device of repetition, the sort of things, and adds each time someone new, but he has three pairs of opposites: man, woman, slave, free man, ruled, ruler. The problem with his answer is that it is ambiguous what is meant by the things fitting for someone to say. On the one hand, the things which are fitting for anyone to say are surely the subject matter of the poem, and we've already established, rightly or wrongly, that the subject matter of the poem is not what the rhapsode will know. We can only conclude that the rhapsode here, Io, is declaring that the rhapsode knows how it is fitting for someone to speak, not what is fitting, although that is what he says, the sort of things it is fitting for someone to say. We should also remember that the rhapsode is not making up the words said by these people, he's simply reciting them. He should have said, we might think, that the rhapsode knows how to deliver what these people say in a way appropriate to gender, status, and role.